What up, what up, what up? It's your boy E.T. Remember, guys, sleep is for suckers. So get up, get out, and go get you something.
You're now checking out Renata Romaine.
Well, this is the Breakfast of Champions, and we are joined by a champion right now, Dr. Eric Thomas.
It's E.T. to
Finally.
you, girl. It's E.T. to you, girl.
The hip-hop preacher.
In the building.
He is here live and direct. I'm Renata Romaine, your ear candy. This is truly a pleasure.
Yeah, likewise. Let me just say this, man. I know it's your show, but I used to get calls all the time like, E, you on XM Radio. I'm like, my girl rapping for me. So appreciate you blowing up my phones and giving me that exposure in the real world.
Well, you know, a lot of folks are waking up, trying to get inspired to go to work, just like me. Yeah. You know, some mornings I wake up, I don't want to get out the bed.
Absolutely.
And I got to shout out Reggie Hawkins. He put me up on you a couple of years ago.
Reg.
He was like, I want you to watch this video. So I'm like, who is this loudmouth guy?
No
He's
doubt.
so brash.
No doubt.
You know, saying all the hip hop lingo. But then I listened to you on Thank God It's Monday.
Absolutely.
And you were just talking that real talk. I love that you were an unapologetic ambassador for Christ.
No doubt.
Everything
No
that
doubt.
you were saying was faith-based.
Absolutely.
And then I did my research. So those of you listening this morning that are not familiar with Eric Thomas, you are familiar with his voice because I get emails all the time, people asking me, Renata, who is that?
Thank you.
I just want you to just share your story real quick. You have an amazing journey. You went from being homeless and a high school dropout
Absolutely.
to having a PhD.
Yeah, I'm just a failure who learned from my mistakes, you know?
Wow.
I'm not that deep, you know, I'm not perfect. I haven't lived a perfect life. You know, I made my mistakes like everybody else. I just learned from mine. A lot of people, unfortunately, they keep doing the same thing over and over and over. And I just, after a couple bumps, I was like, E, you might not want to go down that direction. So when people say we started from the bottom, now we here, I mean, literally, my mom was 17 years old when she got pregnant with me. And my father wasn't, you know, in my life, so it wasn't like they were like in a marital relationship or nothing like that. My grandmother kicked her out because my grandmother had 14 kids and couldn't afford to feed another mouth. So mom's was homeless first, and mom's did what she had to do to finish high school and then got a job, you know, and took care of me, moved to Detroit, married. And so, we started, man, from the bottom, mom
So you
and
were
I.
literally a statistic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and but you know, through intervention, I met a homeboy when I was in high school who took me to church, a pastor who was not a pastor but a mentor.
Yes.
You know, and helped me to get my stuff together. So even being on your show, girl, I'm just gonna be real. Like, I got chills, you know, because he told me when I was 17 years old that I'd be doing this. You know?
I was going to ask you, like, did you ever know that you would be ministering to people on this level?
Not at all. He told me that. You know, he told me, like, you need to get out of Detroit. You need to get off these streets. You need to get your GED, and you need to get as far away from Detroit as you can. And so just being in here with you, I'm thinking about him. Like, he was telling the truth. You know how it is when somebody tell you something when you're in a dark place, and that's who I'm talking to. Like, people who are he was talking to me at a dark place. Like, I left him to go live in an abandoned building.
Wow.
I left him no shower. I left him eating out of the trash can. You know, I left him, but he would tell me every week, you got greatness in you. You got greatness in you. You got greatness in you. You know, and when I got my GED and went down south for college first before Michigan State, I got in an environment of dudes that was doing it. I want to be a lawyer. I want to be a doctor.
So being in an environment, being surrounded by people that are successful, people that are positive will definitely have a direct impact.
And, you know, people always like, well, E, you with, you know, like I was just with on the Gary Vee show. They're like, E, you with Sway, you with, you know, Dan Gilbert, you with Warren Buffett. Like, E, you with these people. I can't get to that. Right. I'm like, yo, don't act like I was there when I first started. I was with my people.
Right.
I was with just dudes who graduated from high school, dudes from the block. I went to an HBCU. So I was just around dudes. But what I did different was I was selective about the people that I hung around.
Hold your thought on that. We're going to play some music and come back because I think that's very key. A lot of people don't realize it takes process and preparation.
Absolutely.
Before you can get to the promise.
Hello.
And it's really tough, though.
Hey.
You know, when you're in the process.
Absolutely.
You know, how do you get from the beginning and going through the process?
Absolutely.
And just hanging in there long enough to see the promise. Nice. So now when we left off, you were talking about, you know, people think that you just woke up and started like this.
Yeah, no.
And that's not the case.
Not at all.
So, you know, how how can people sustain themselves when they're going through the process or when they are being prepared for greatness?
Yeah, one of the things I teach people is like get off the results. Like you don't plant a tree and can date the exact when the tree's coming up. You can't plant like watermelon or apple orchards and know like, okay, June 13th, 19th, it don't work like that. Your goal is the goal. Like your goal, as CJ always say, is the activity. You're just supposed to get up and do what you're supposed to do. So a lot of people get discouraged because they're making, the prize, what their focus is on. So my thing is just get up. Whatever you're supposed to do, just do that. So I went to college, like he said. He told me, if you get out of Detroit and you go to school. So I just got up. I started waking up with my boys. We, doing breakfast.
Right.
We doing devotion. We dreaming, talking about what we going to do.
Right.
And I just did that every day. And 18 years later, the world knew who I was. So get off the results. The process is what's most important. Work on whatever you're supposed to be working on.
So let's be specific.
Yeah.
Let's say you have somebody, a woman that wants to get married.
Yeah.
And she's so caught up on finding a husband.
Absolutely.
That's not what she should be focused on.
She should be focused on being a wife.
Oh.
So you get a husband and you're not a wife. What's going to happen? You're going to get a divorce.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? You're going to get separated. So focus on, and I'm just speaking for men right now.
Right.
Men, get your ironing skills together. Men, learn how to cook. I got some signature dishes, that my wife loves. I got some signature dishes. Like I make this pasta with white sauce that she's in love with the bell peppers, and I do 4 different colors. I don't know that it tastes any different.
It's called Alfredo sauce.
Okay, mine's is special. I don't use Alfredo. I got something special, y'all,
Nice.
and I can't tell them on the line
Nice.
of what it is. But so it's just a couple things I know how to do. I know how to vacuum with the lines. Like I know how to. I keep the lines in it like it's a hotel.
Right.
I know how to make a couple little animals out of towels. So my thing is, if you become a father, then you're going to be able to take care of your son.
Right.
So for me, if you want to be a motivational speaker, like become motivational. I know guys that are motivational speakers. You got bad attitudes. You don't speak.
Right.
You don't shake people's hand. You don't say hello.
Right.
But you want to get up in front of people and speak. So be motivational first. Have some energy first.
I think people watch a lot of TV, reality TV. They're on social media, Instagram. So right now we're in this generation and society where everybody want to be a star.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they don't see the hard work that goes on behind it.
Well, they don't see that we didn't want to be stars.
Yeah.
We in love with what we do. And as a result of being in love with what we do, whatever you want to call it, we became gurus. Because when I first did the guru story, everybody like, E.T. the guru. I was the student when I did the story.
Right.
I didn't even know who a guru was or what a guru was. But now they consider me a guru. Why? I've been doing it for 25 years. So I never wanted to sign autographs. I never wanted to be on the radio. I wanted to change lives. And as a result of changing lives, this kind of happened. They got it backwards. They want to be stars, but they don't want to serve the people who look up to them.
Yes, honey. Yes. Now, you put things in a way that people can just truly get it.
That's that GED.
You're hip, you're cool.
Yeah, that's the GED.
But you know what, though? It's more than just the GED.
That's the GED.
Well, you got a PhD now.
Yeah.
Okay. But, someone, I believe it was my pastor, A.R. Bernard.
Absolutely.
That said to me, relationship precedes ministry.
Yeah.
And quite often you have a lot of preachers that are just not reaching people.
Absolutely.
And I feel like with you it's different because you speak the language. You make it cool to say, hey, I love God. Or, you make it cool. So, like, was that a part of your plan to kind of speak the language of the people?
No, not at all. I think what happened is I've been through what the people have been through. You know what I'm saying? I've been with the people, so when you've gone through what they go through and you've been with them, you know the language. You know what makes you tick. So, I always say when I'm cooking, don't cook nothing you don't like. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't prepare nothing that you don't think is tasty.
Yeah, I don't cook pork. I don't cook red meat because I don't eat it.
Right, you know what I'm saying? So you can't cook it, you don't eat it. Right, you don't know how to do it. So for me, I think, what my mom has been through, what I've been through, and then, teaching that GED class for 6-7 years, teaching K through 12 for 7, teaching at Michigan State for 7, like being around the kids so much and listening to them and going out to eat with them and, supporting them. I learned their language. Like, I know what makes them tick because I've spent so much time. And many of us, you don't know what they need. You don't understand. Right. You don't understand anything about them. So you can't reach them because you don't know them. I've been there. I've done that. I got the t-shirt, like they say. I got the hat. hat, the cup, the mug. So I think that's why I can relate, because I know what it's like to be a failure. I know what it's like, you know, to set a goal and the goal doesn't happen and happen to keep going. I know what pain looks like. 5 aunts died of cancer, mother-in-law with cancer, wife with multiple sclerosis. Like, I've been there, son on academic probation. Like, I've been there. I've been on academic probation. So I speak the language because this is what I love, and I love my people.
So, you know, you speak a lot about telling people to go after what they want.
Absolutely.
And go after it like if their life depended on it.
Absolutely.
You're from Detroit. Detroit is so depressed right now. When you're dealing with a situation that's pretty much hopeless, how do you go after what you want when everything around you is just hopeless?
Yeah, I'm saying that's why you got to do it, though. This is what I tell people. You know, I've had people come to me like, Eric, I've been through so much. I'm like, look, you made it through it, though. So if you made it through it, like you made it through all of that to quit now?
Right.
Like you went through all of that and you didn't go crazy.
Right.
You didn't kill yourself. So you on the other side of it.
Right.
So it's like it's time to get a reward for it. Like to go through all that pain and still, like, imagine a mother carrying a child for 10 months and not being able to give birth to that child. Like, that's why when it happens, they're so devastated, because you've been through so much. So for me, it's like, you already been through enough hell. Get a reward for it. So my thing is not, I don't believe in fear or I believe we just strong all the time. It's not that. It's just, I've been through so much hell. I want to recycle my pain and get something for it. And I just believe that, especially in my community, anybody who's been successful, they all had to go through hell.
Right.
But for me, that's where the passion comes from.
Right.
That's where that energy comes from, in that we were underdogs, we were disadvantaged, and in the midst of all of that, we still made it on the other side. And I just want to be real. I don't think a lot of us are going through what, you know, like our ancestors went through. Like, the kind of stuff that we dealing with is not on that level. So if they could get through that, I just feel like we could get through some of the stuff we going through.
Speaking of which, we are right now in just a bad climate in the country. You know, with all the race relations and the situation with the police.
Absolutely.
What's your take on that?
Yeah, my take is this, man. I tell people all the time, the thing I love about Harriet Tubman is she did her part.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, and she was going, like, I'm sure her situation was much worse.
Can you imagine what was going through her mind?
But she still said, I have to do my part. You know, and when she got her freedom, she was like, I gotta go back. Dr. Martin Luther King, as a preacher, did his part.
Yes.
You know, Marcus Garvey did his part. Malcolm X did his part. Like, everybody did their part, and we're able to talk about not only their part, but our liberation as a result of them. So my thing is, I'm not a politician. You know, I'm not, you know, a governor or mayor or whatever, but I am a educator. I am a motivator. And so I'm going to use my platform.
Right.
I'm going to use my resources. I'm going to use my talent to help in ways that I can. So that's what I would just say. Like, hey, this time is no darker than any other time we've been through.
Right.
This time is no darker, and we've been able to get through other times. We can certainly get through this time.
Now, you are from Detroit.
Yes,
but you've touched the lives of a lot of people, including like professional athletes. I think LeBron said you inspired him to win a championship. So what are you doing today in Detroit? I know you have a company working with kids. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so and we've been doing this work for, man, I started, you know, running the GED program when I was like 20, 21 years old in college. And in Detroit, that's what we're doing. Most of our work is at Michigan State University. I've been blessed to work with Coach Izzo and the basketball team, Coach D'Antonio, football team, baseball, you know, softball, whatever. And then we work with a group of our minority students, you know, who have been accepted on a provisional basis, majority of them, and just helping them to get through school. We set up interns for them in the summer. We give them money to study abroad. We help buy computers. You know, then we're in the detention centers. We're in the prisons. And, of course, we're in Detroit, all of the public school systems that will open up their door. And, girl, you know how it is. Originally, I couldn't even get into the school system. It's so crazy, you know, but because of, you know, individuals like you and making me famous through your platform, you know, now, you know, it's like, oh, E.T.
I wasn't trying to make you famous.
Hey, well, you did it. You did it. You know, you did it.
I was just playing, you know, feeding the people.
Hey, well, you said I was sweet, so they said I was sweet, you know, so they opened up the doors for me. So now we're in school districts all over the world. We just helped a group of kids. I know you saw the Not Funny video
Yeah.
in St. Louis. Hey, you know what's so funny? You know, people make judgment. I've been going to that school for 3 years now. I do a public speaking class course for the kids to help them raise money to go to Costa Rica. We gave them thousands and thousands of dollars to visit Costa Rica. And so, you know, people think it's just a video. Like we were just there for a couple minutes. No, I went off because I invest my time. I invest my money. You know, they my babies. And so if my child is acting up in school, I'm going to go up there and check them. So that's what that was. But, you know, we've been able to go into whatever school districts across the country that would allow us in, put our books in there, our curriculum. We do specific videos for schools and teachers. So we are definitely out here putting our mark in the world.
And you also go on tour.
Absolutely.
As well. So if someone wanted to see you on tour, what do they have to just go to your website?
Yep, go to our website, like you said, etinspires.com. And we're just so grateful for that platform because, you know, the people that buy our tickets help us to do the work we do in the schools.
Yeah.
And help us to do the work we do in the juvenile detention center. So mad up. We call them family. We don't call them fans. Mad up to our family. And can I just say this real quick?
Yeah.
When you said our, I never heard that before. Our ET, the hip hop preacher. That's special, man. That means a lot.
Yeah, you know, I know you have to run a little bit, but we're about to elect a president. You know, a lot of people expected President Obama to do things. You get what I'm saying? What would you say to people right now, especially, you know, young black women and men listening, in terms of going into this election and having the right mindset? Like, what's that one thing you want them to know?
I want them to know that, you know, we have power. You know, and not just power in terms of our vote. I think a lot of us make a mistake in thinking that once we vote, it's over. You know, it's like we vote, we put Barack Obama in office and he just supposed to change the world. Look, it's only so much you can do alone. We could do so much more together. And so my thing is, I voted in the last election. I voted in the election. I've been voting ever since. But guess what? After I finish voting, I'm going to help the president in Detroit. I'm going to help the president in the state of Michigan. I'm going to help the president by getting on. Look.
So do your part on the
I'm
local
level. I'm going to do my
level.
part. And here's the deal, though. People have to understand the TGIMs came out of the recession. Ford, GM, and Chrysler all crumbled.
Right.
People lost their jobs, lost their livelihood. That's why we did TGIM. We never did TGIM to blow up, but we wanted to inspire Detroit and say, hey, guys, thank God it's Monday. Thank God we're alive. Thank God we have an opportunity to be entrepreneurs or whatever your second, you know, career choice is. Detroit's not over. Like we can rebuild. And so me doing TGIM went not only in the United States of America, it crossed the globe.
Absolutely.
And so my thing is, I voted, but after I voted, I helped Barack Obama by doing my part in the schools, the juvenile detention centers, just the businesses in America. I did my part by doing my part. So after you vote, and you need to vote, but don't stop with the vote. After you vote, do your part.
Well, Eric Thomas, I could talk to you all day.
Likewise.
Please do come back.
I promise.
But let me just say this to you because I believe in affirming people. And you affirmed me a couple of years ago. And I often say, who motivates the motivator? You know, I know you get tired. People don't see the blood, sweat, and tears that you go through. You know, just because you're on this platform that you're on, it doesn't mean the trials have stopped or ended. In fact, they probably became greater.
Absolutely.
So you tweeted me or you DM'd me a couple of years ago and you just was like, you said something very simple like, keep on going. I was like, whoa, that came out of nowhere. But it's what I needed to hear at that moment. So I just want to thank you for affirming me.
Thank you.
In that moment. Dr. Eric Thomas, please support
ET to you. ET to you.
You know what? You got that PhD, baby. I'm trying to work on a master's.
Okay, no doubt. You go.
So
work on it.
You inspire me. Okay, so I'm gonna keep using that. Dr. Eric Thomas, baby. He's here. etinspires.com. Please go out and support him. Congratulations on everything, and God bless you, brother.
Thank you, and thank you again for using your platform to be a blessing to those of us who are here, you know, on the ground level, making it happen.